Welcome to the Fam Jam team call. It is September 16th, and I'm really excited, you guys. We are sitting halfway through the month, and I am so proud of all of the work that you guys have been doing and how you've been showing up this month. I feel like we started the month really, really strong, and you guys have really continued that momentum throughout the month. So it's been super exciting. We have a really special team. We have a really special guest on our team call tonight. We have Shawna Blunn, and Shawna actually was just on the National Wake Up Call a couple of weeks ago. So if you guys saw that, she did absolutely incredible. I loved it. And I'm so excited for her to share tonight on her process of really inviting and what that looks like for her. So before I go ahead with an official introduction, I would love to kick this over to you guys for recognition. I do not have a recognition board for you guys tonight, so shout your people out from the rooftops and let them know that you see them. Go ahead and just unmute yourself.
I'll go. I wanted to officially welcome Julia to the team. She's like brand spanking new, and she's on the team call, and she jumped on the new coach call on Monday. She's showing up in her stories already, and I'm just really excited to have her here. So welcome, Julia. And I wasn't prepared for Success Club because there's usually a board. But I believe that Christina's sitting at SC4 and Kiata's at SC6, so she's locked in SC for the month already. And I have some coaches that are at SC2. Anyway, there's going to be a board likely this week. So if I'm missing people, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to.
We'll shout out Success Club tomorrow. My daughter's bedroom kind of destroyed my day today. It was insane. So we'll do a big board tomorrow. We can shout everyone out on the team page. I love that. And welcome and congrats, everyone. Who else has recognition? You can unmute, just unmute. We good? We wanted to officially welcome Shannon to her first team call. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the team call. She's been with us for just a couple of weeks. You're a newbie coach, but this is her first call. So I'm so excited to have you on this call with us. If nobody else has recognition, we'll just pass this on over. I feel like we're good. Okay, perfect. So I am so excited for this call tonight, you guys. I really value your time, Shawna. I just want to say thank you so much for saying yes to be on the call with us. Thank you for agreeing to be here. And it's actually it's incredible to have built so many cool connections outside of your own team, and you start to build these connections with other coaches and other teams, and literally we all start sharing these resources and the training that we have. And when it starts happening, it really is just super cool to be able to be in a community that is so open about being willing to share what's working for them, what's not working for them, how things are going. How are they blowing up their business right now? Shawna is a 9-star diamond in her first CBC and a 1-star diamond coach in her second CBC. And the success, I know you've been a coach for 4 years now. The success has been something that really happened for you a little bit later on in your coaching career. And I really respect the way that you show up in your business, and I respect the fact that you're willing to be so open and honest with us about what is actually working in order for you to see that success, because I know it wasn't something that happened overnight. And I think oftentimes we hear from so many coaches who are like, I hit diamond in 30 days and now I'm a 10-star diamond coach in 6 months and life is great. We're all over here wait, what? What's going on? You are a unicorn. That's not how this works. So I'm really excited. I won't talk anymore. I'm going to pass this over to you. So thank you so much for being here, and we're really excited to listen to you. If you guys have questions at all, just pop in the chat. I'll monitor the chat as she goes, and then we can even just ask some questions at the end.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. I will kind of give you a little bit of a background story I don't know if you watched the National Wake Up Call, but I'll kind of share anyway. And then I'll kind of get into my inviting process, how I invite, what my conversations look like. I'll literally share all of that with you guys. So like she said, I've been a coach for 4 years. I'm from a small town, Blunn, Ontario. I saw somebody was from Hamilton. My friend's from there, so that's kind of cool. Crazy. And so I started coaching when I was a student. I was 21 years old. I was working. I was just finishing up school. So it was very hectic for me. I didn't know how to build a business. I didn't really know where this was going to go for me. So at first I took it like very slow. I didn't really know how to build a team. I didn't really know how to put myself out there. I was very shy, very introverted. Literally, like, public speaking was the scariest thing in the world to me. So to think that I do stuff like this all the time now, crazy to think that coaching has really helped me do things like that, because back then I was not like this at all. So basically I started coaching in 2016. And when I first started coaching, I was going through a little bit in life where I actually had to move home from school and finish school at home. So basically what happened was my like ex-boyfriend from high school, we had broken up, but he like fell down some stairs. He had a really bad brain injury. And so that really affected me. And that's kind of where these workouts were introduced to me at that time when I really needed it. So my roommate, she was doing these programs in our college basement. She looked insane. She looked amazing. And she actually posted her before and after photos. And I saw her photo and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks incredible. So obviously I like congratulated her, cheered her on, and she invited me to her 21-day fix boot camp. This was when we had DVDs. There wasn't Beachbody On Demand at that time. It was just good old DVDs. So I like went all in with a 21-day fix program. And honestly, my results, like, I was in shock because I like sort of let myself go. And when I saw my results, I was like, wow. So I like sent them to my coach and she shared them. Long story short, she asked me to start coaching about 3 times because I was so shy. I kept saying no. I didn't want to put myself out there. But anyways, here I am 4 years later, and I have like, I can't even believe the opportunity coaching has done for me. Like, not even just like financially, but like honestly, like the inner growth has been so huge. Even like the friends I've known forever, they're like, I can't believe like you do that for like a living now. Like, I can't believe you just like talk to people all the time. So coaching has been awesome for me. Like she said before, I stayed at Diamond for like a solid 2 years. I didn't really know, how to be a leader. I didn't really know how to put myself out there to help my team. I just sort of chilled at Diamond. I chilled there because I was like comfortable, right? So last year of 2019, I was a Diamond coach. And this year we are a 9-star Diamond team. And honestly, I like give it all to New Leader Conference. If you are a new coach on this team, basically New Leader Conference is something you get to earn when you are a 1-star Diamond and above. I got to go to California, and actually my PS coach was there with me, which was super cool. We both worked really hard for that. And so that like really made a shift in my business, because I was like, okay, well, I better like get my shit together. Like, I want to build a team. I want to be able to do this. So I wish I was going there. Fortunately, it's canceled. But New Leader Conference was a game changer for me, and it really just helped me step into that leadership role, to start doing groups and start like being there for my coaches. So that's not really the topic I'm going to get into tonight, but I will sort of get into how I invite, how I, reach out to people. Like, how do I reach out to people? How do I connect with people? I'm going to share all of that with you. And also, since I do have scripts, I'm more than willing to send that to you guys after the call. So I'm not like actually reading my script to you. And I have a lot of like resources I can send you guys as well. So first of all, I invite anyone who watches my stories, likes my posts, and follows me on Instagram. It's basically like Instagram is literally my store. People know what I'm doing. They can see that I have a transformation. They can see that, I'm posting my workouts. It's literally my store that they get to walk through and look at my pictures and know that like I'm offering an opportunity to them. So why wouldn't I invite them to the opportunity that has changed my life, right? So I've never really looked at like inviting as something that's scary, because like I have a gift to offer to people. So why would I hold back to invite someone? Because I know it's helped me. I know it's helped my coach. I know it's helped, you know, a couple of the people, like my first few customers. So why wouldn't I continue to invite to it? Right. So that's like literally the first thing I do in my power hour. Like I get out of the way, I do it, you know, for the first 20 minutes or so. I don't like wait until the end of the day, because I used to do that. And honestly, that was like the worst decision ever, because I always left it to the last thing and then I wouldn't end up doing it. And I think inviting is like the number one thing you should be doing in your business, because you're moving the needle forward, right? Like you're having conversations with people, and even if they don't answer you, that's okay. You're planting a seed, and they'll continue to watch you if they kind of see, you know, like, what is she doing? Like a lot of people, it takes time for them to kind of see what you're doing and to actually understand why you're so passionate about it. So when I send my invite, I make it like personal. So I don't just say like, hey girl, I used to send invites like that, but honestly, I don't like to get invites like that. So I like to think of how I would want to get an invite from somebody. So I say, hey, I'll just say, hey, Brianna, how are you? I hope you're having a great morning so far. Like whenever I'm sending the invite, afternoon, weekend. Also, thank you so much for following my story, following my journey. I like to change it up a little bit depending on what they're sort of looking at. Like if I'm inviting them from a photo they liked. So if I said like, for example, thank you so much for following my post or liking my post yesterday, I really appreciate it. And then I sort of let them know, you know, I have an online fitness community running and I would love for you to be a part of it. Would you like some more information? That's it. I don't like get into full detail. It's just like quick invite. I say their name. That makes it a little bit more personal. And then I send that. I send that to at least, I know there's new coaches on here, so don't think like you have to send this many invites, but I send like at least 50 invites daily personally. But when I first started, it wasn't like that. Obviously, it takes time to build your following and to build, you know, like those people that are watching you. So when I first started, it was anywhere from like 20 to 30 around there I would shoot for. And I tried to do that 5 times a week. So when I first started, like I said before, I was, you know, working full time. I was working at a daycare. And so I didn't have as much time that I do now. So I would, you know, send invites as soon as I got home from work. I would send, you know, 30 to whatever invites, as many as I could, until my power hour was done. Also, I make sure I'm a pen and paper person. So I don't use a computer to track. Like that might sound a little unorganized, but that's literally what's worked for me. That's the best thing that's like worked for me. I'm not like a computer person for tracking. So I literally just write down their Instagram handle. And like I used to write every person's name down that I would invite. I don't do that anymore. I only write the people down that actually asked for more information. And then I'll literally put in brackets, like if they were interested in coaching, then I'll write coaching info. Or if they're interested in the boot camp, then I'll write in brackets boot camp. Like it's literally that simple. That's how simple I track. And then that way I can always go back to follow up with those people. Like for instance, this month, I don't know about you guys, but like everyone is like, it's a little bit of a quiet month. So I literally go back from January to all of those Instagram handle names that I wrote down from January and on. And that way, those people that you planted a seed with before, you can follow up with those people, especially on the months that feel a little bit quiet. So whenever, like, another thing too is like, you're not always going to have someone that answers and says, yes, I would love some more information. Like sometimes you will, and sometimes you won't even get anything at all. Know that that's normal. If you don't have any people that answer you, it's so normal. I still get that daily. Like sometimes I wake up with no messages and I'm like, alrighty, well, I guess nobody wants to join me this month. But just know that it's totally normal and those people will definitely come back to you. It's just, it takes time. So I'm going to go over some scenarios with you guys, like some scenarios that you might get, some scenarios that I get, when it comes to conversations. So some people all the time say, I don't have time. And I always relate it back to me. I don't like to like push it on them. I don't like to say, oh, you have time. Like I literally relate it back to, I totally understand. When I first started, I was a student, I was working, you know, I was finishing up college. I felt like I didn't have the time either, but I quickly realized that 20 to 30-minute workouts were perfect for my schedule. So if you ever feel like you need a quick, effective workout, don't hesitate to message me when you're ready, kind of thing. So I don't really take no for an answer. Like, I like to like kind of give them a little bit of information on why this would be good for them. And so that way they have that like, oh, okay, I guess like this might be able to work for me. Another scenario you might get is, I don't have the money right now. This one's hard because you don't want to like actually push it on them if they actually don't have the money. So a lot of the time I like to just say, no problem. Would you like to try some free workouts that I can send to you through your email? Or I'll say, no problem. I'm actually running a free group this month. Would you like to join it and see if it's maybe for you in the future, kind of thing. So that way you're not just saying like, oh, no problem, like talk to you another time. Like that way you're just actually like being genuine and offering them something that they can sort of like try and see if it's for them, because then they'll think of you at a time that they do actually have the money, and then they'll come to you when they're ready. Another thing too is some people will say, I actually have a gym membership right now, but thank you so much. I have a routine going. I'll say, oh my gosh, that's amazing. No problem. If you ever feel like you need to switch up in your routine, or you feel like you're kind of bored at the gym, feel free to message me. I remember when I was at the gym, my routine got a little boring. So I always like to mix it up. So I just kind of like let them know what I do have to offer, and let them know like there are programs that are offered for people that like to go to the gym. That way you're not kind of like just leaving them in the dust and being like, yeah, no problem, because they don't actually know what you have to offer if you don't tell them, right? Another thing too is a lot of people will say, so this is something I can't relate to, but I do relate it to people that I do know. A lot of people say, you know, I have a toddler running around. I can't, like, I literally don't have time for that. I'm a mom, like, and I just respond and I say, honestly, I can't relate to that, but I do have clients that actually do have kids and they do have toddlers, and they actually find these programs really helpful for them because they can work out on their own time and their own schedule with their babies right there, kind of thing. And I also let them know that there's like a new prenatal, postnatal program. Like, even though I personally don't relate to that because I don't have kids yet, I just kind of relate it back to the people that I do know that I have helped. So there are different ways you can kind of tweak it with like answering like people that answer you back like that. But just know you can kind of always figure it out with like relating it back to either yourself or clients that you've helped before. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, like I said, for follow-ups, like this month for me, I've literally been going back to the names that I wrote down in like February, March, April, May. And I've had so many people come back to me being like, yeah, thank you for following up. So do not forget follow-ups. Those are like the key thing in your business. If you're not following up, then you're probably missing out on a lot of customers, because they'll go and find another coach. They're going to see that there's another coach that's actually messaging them and reaching out to them. So don't forget about the people that you wrote down in the past, because you planted those seeds, and they'll see that you're still like here 5, 6, 7 months later, and they'll really just gain that. They'll really see that you're really passionate about what you're doing and that it's working for you. So do not forget to follow up. I have like a few things I wanted to share with you guys that aren't really, they kind of really help with things like getting Success Club points from current clients that you don't really think about how you can actually do that, and just little things that we don't really think about. So BOD subscriptions, at the very beginning of every single month, I go into my back office and I look at you know, whose BOD subscription is going to renew. So I guess this is for people who've been in the business for about a year or so or more. But like their BOD subscription is about to renew, right? So so basically how to find it, you'll go into your back office and it's under My Customers, and then it's under Subscriptions. And basically all you have to do is look at where their BOD subscription is going to renew, and just message that person and be like, hey girl, just so you know, your BOD subscription is about to renew, and just let them know that they can actually save so much money when they get the actual challenge pack, because they're saving money on the products when they do decide to go with the challenge pack. So a lot of people don't really realize that, like their bod subscription renews and it's like $111 or whatever, but they're really saving money. So make sure you're reaching out to those people, because you could get Success Club points for that. Just something a lot of people kind of forget, that we don't really realize, that their subscriptions are like renewing, and then you could get Success Club points for that, and then they could also save money on the product. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing too is, once you do sign up your customers, make sure that you're continuing to follow up with them as well, because they want to know that you're going to be there for them, right? Like they want to know that the reason they signed up with you is because you're always going to be there for them. So you're checking in with them, your challenge groups are fun, you're making, different challenges for them every single week. So I personally, something different that I did this year, and this is like 4 years in and I just started doing this, so don't feel like you have to do this right away, but I started doing weekly emails, because then they can kind of see, I'm checking in with them, I'm sending them, free meal plans, whatever, because this kind of shows them that I'm consistent and I'm showing up for them continuously. And another thing too is, this is so helpful for things like launches, because you can literally, I use MailChimp, and you can literally just send it to everyone all at once. Again, I'm not really a computer person, so I had to go on YouTube and search up how to use MailChimp. Actually super simple, but this is great for things like launches. You can send like your whole customer list, like applications for launches, let them know like what's happening. So it's been a really big game changer for my business, because this way I don't have to like one-on-one like message everyone. This way I can just do one click and it sends to everyone. So that's another good way to get your inactive coaches back active, is signing people up, for 30-day breakaway. Just say, hey girl, I'm having like a VIP test group for 30-day breakaway. Would you like to join me? So I have messaged all of my discount coaches, whether they're active or inactive, and just to let them know, like, I'm running a test group. Would you like to be a part of that with me? That gets them back active, and you never know, like they might even be a coach after that. Someone that gets to be a part of something like that, maybe they'll like have a really fun time with the community and the team. And a lot of the time, that's where you're going to get your really good working coaches, is from, your challenge groups, and a lot of people like that are really passionate about the programs, right? So that's sort of where I get a lot of my working coaches, is from my challenge groups, because that's like literally the bread and butter to your business. Like that's where you actually like see people communicating and connecting and supporting other people. And that's where you can be like messaging them and saying, hey girl, just so you know, I feel like you're 100% coach material. Have you ever thought about coaching before? So that's also a good way of inviting to the coaching opportunity our challengers that are rocking it in your groups. But that's like really a gist of how I send my invites. Honestly, it's not hard. It's pretty simple. And a lot of people say like, oh, she's, 9-star diamond. She probably has some magical, invite that she sends. But honestly, it's everyone a lot of the time does the same thing. It's just consistency and patience, and having that time to actually like putting in the work to do that. And everyone's capable of hitting Success Club. Anyone is. And it's just really setting those goals for your business and knowing where you're wanting to go with this business. I think that's been a huge thing for me, is like, why do I want to show up today? Like who do I want to show up for today, kind of thing. So that I continue to show up for not just myself, for other people. It's not always about me. It's about people that need help out there. And if I'm not going to send them that invite that day, somebody else will. So just always having that thought process is like, okay, well, I guess if I'm not going to send invites today, well, somebody else will send that invite to them, and then they'll have another coach, and then you'll kind of miss out on that opportunity. So, that's sort of my invite process. Does anyone have any questions at all?
You guys can unmute yourself or ask in the chat. I it is the worst feeling to finally invite someone and they're like, oh, I just signed up on Monday with so-and-so. And you're like, oh,
I know.
oh, the worst. You're like,
know.
no, why me? Why? But yeah, I've had that happen. I had that happen for a while. There's a couple of months where that was happening like consistently. And I was like, okay, enough is enough. I am not going to have this happen to me anymore because I was so over it. He's laughing.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yep,
so
I get it too.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Can I ask one question? I'm sure other people have questions, but I would love, do you invite to a challenge group and then you invite from your challenge group to coaching, or will you invite to coaching right away?
Good question. So I initially invite to the challenge group, but if there's somebody I'm following on Instagram and they're like really passionate about fitness, like I will send them like an invite to coaching. Or what I do is like if I'm leading up to a coach sneak peek, so say next week, I literally invite everyone to my coaching sneak peek. It's a free info group kind of thing. That's what I say. It's a free group, like no strings attached. You can be a fly on the wall. I literally invite everyone to that sneak peek. So it's kind of this, like, I don't really send like a coach initial like coaching invite, but I invite them to our sneak peek.
I love that. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I got one. I'm just wondering, I guess touching base on that, what does your coaching invite look like for those people?
For my customers or?
Yeah, for your, I guess your existing clients.
Yeah, so I just kind of send them a message and I'll be like, hey, I see that you're really killing it in the challenge group. You're like supporting people. You're being a really good cheerleader, and you're killing it in your own fitness journey. Have you ever thought of becoming a coach? I feel like it would be something you'd love. Kind of thing. A lot of the time though, I like to send it in a voice note so it sounds really personal, especially if like they kind of got to know me a little more and like she's been in the challenge group for a little bit. Voice notes have been helpful for that too.
I have a question. When you're reaching someone for the first time, do you ever use voice notes or video, or it's always text the first time you're connecting with them?
When I'm first connecting with them, it's a message, but if we're like back and forth with conversation, I'd rather just voice note. It's a lot easier that way. But I do ask them, I say, is it okay if I send you a voice note just because it's easier for me to respond that way? But initially, like I don't send a first message in a voice note.
That's a great question. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? I know the question we get all the time is, I've run out of people to invite. I don't know who else to invite. And I know there's a lot of people watching this call right now who are like, this is all fine and dandy to have like all these great invite scripts and to know what you're talking about. But there's also a lot of coaches who are just kind of sitting going, well, I've already invited everybody. Like how have you found new people to invite?
So the way I connect, so connections again are really important too. Like whether you're inviting, following up, connecting, those are like the three most important things I think in your business. So I make sure I'm connecting and adding to my network every single day. I think I maybe take Sundays off for that, but like I think that's so important because you always want new eyes on your page, and you always want to be bringing in more people to your store, to your Instagram page. So basically what I do is I follow my friends' friends, because I know like a lot of people will follow you back if they see other people are following you. It's kind of like a mutual friends thing, like, oh, my friend follows so-and-so, so she's probably not weird kind of thing. So that's how I initially build my following. If they have an open account, I'll follow them and just like a couple pictures. And if they have a story, I'll comment on their story. But I try to do that with like 20 to 30 people a day. And if their account's closed, I still just follow. And then I'll just unfollow back if they don't follow me back within like a week or so. But yeah, I just follow, like, I don't go to big Instagram pages. Like I don't do anything like that. Sometimes I'll go to like Aerie, because I love Aerie. And I'll just like go and follow like some of the girls that are commenting, but I'll make sure it's like somebody that doesn't have like a million gazillion followers. And then I'll just sort of like connect with her. But like, other than that, I just follow friends of friends.
And have you primarily built your business on Instagram, or do you do anything on Facebook?
Just Instagram.
Love
I
it.
used to do it on Facebook when I first started, and then I realized like a lot of that was just my warm market. So Instagram is where like I get all of my customers now and coaches.
That's amazing. Any other questions? You guys can unmute, or you can pop it in the chat if you can.
I have another question. In terms of like content, is this something that on a weekend you would sit down and think about your whole week and think, okay, I'm going to post Monday, Tuesday, this is going to be the subject. And do you stay within a certain criteria, coaching, personal, you know, a lot, because
Yeah.
I do quotes right now. I started doing testimonials, for example. I get a testimonial from a client. I would post it on my caption just for credibility, for people to read and say, okay, this guy's been doing this for a while. He seems legit, if you will. And then, you know, kind of build credibility from there. But would you recommend, or have you ever done, I'm just looking at your right now, I don't see any quotes, quote photo this, which I do. But I seem to have a kind of hard time, which again is an excuse, but I put that quote in there and I feel like I'm putting it in there just to fill up the space, which
Mm-hmm.
testimonials is better than quotes. That took too long, that question. I didn't know.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. I totally
yeah.
get what you're saying. So I like to sit down on Sundays. I have a week at a glance. Like it's literally, you just like, it's from the dollar store. And I put it like right in front of my computer, and I literally just plan out my whole week, like when I'm going to work my business, what I'm going to post, and what it's sort of based around. So for example, like this week was more based around 30-day breakaway, and I'm going to like start to talk about coaching more this week because I'm going to have a sneak peek next week. The first like 2 or 3 weeks of September, I was talking a lot about the boot camps and like transformations and stuff like that. But now I sort of like based around coaching. A lot of the time I like to, you know, plan ahead. So Monday, for example, like this is just an example. I'm going to say like, okay, today I'm going to do a coach post, or I won't really think of it on Sunday, like everything that I'm going to talk about in my post, but I just sort of have like a general idea of what I want to talk about in my post. You know, Tuesday transformation post, anything to sort of like show people like I have something to offer to them. But I like to also, you know, share lifestyle posts too, because I like people to know what I do outside of fitness and coaching. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, I like to sit down on Sundays and just sort of plan out like what I sort of want to like gear my business towards that week. Because it's always like shifting depending on what I'm inviting to.
Okay. And what does your morning routine look like? I'm always curious.
Yeah, so for me, it's a little, okay, so summer was nice because I wasn't a supply. So right now I'm a supply for the school board. So my life is sort of all over the place. So I don't really know when I'm getting called in. But for now, like I still get up at 6. I, you know, take my Energize. I use this Rachel Hollis Start Today journal. And then I'm currently reading, if you haven't read this, it's amazing. It's Be Obsessed or Be Average. A really, really good book. He pretty much just kicks you in the ass to work your business and be obsessed with it. So this is like my second time reading it. I'm obsessed with it. So that's a really good book. But basically I, you know, choose a personal development book that I feel like I need at that time, depending on where I'm at in life. So it's always different, but yeah, I read for like 10 minutes and then I do my workout and then that's it. I don't really do work, like coaching work in the morning, unless I like actually schedule time to do that, but I mostly do it in the afternoon and evenings. Honestly, I find I get more responses in the evenings. So I leave my invites to the evenings.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. It's more towards working with your team of coaches. What are some like things that you do, especially for newer coaches on your team, that you incorporate to get them excited, to keep them engaged, building them up to their growth?
So I first thing I do is I have a one-to-one call with them, sort of going over like the new coach basics. So I'll talk about, what success starters is and how they could earn that. I talk about Emerald, their first rank, and then basically just go over the basics for new coaches. And then once that call is done, I put them into a new coach pod where all of my coaches, like my new coaches, go. And that way in that pod, they can sort of ask questions in there, like, so that they're not just personally messaging me. That way, if they do ask a question, like, odds are that a lot of the other coaches have the same question. So they're in that pod and I have them, checking in there. I have like daily challenges for them, whether it be like, hey, today I want you guys to go talk in your story about coaching, or today I want you guys to send 30 invites. And another thing too is they don't stay in that pod. They advance to other pods whenever they sign up more coaches or discount coaches. So it kind of like leaves them feeling like, okay, so-and-so got to leave to the other pod. I want to be able to do that. So I have a new coach pod, a halfway there pod, an Emerald pod, and a 3 times Emerald pod. So they're always, moving with the same kind of people that are at the same pace as them. And I still like throw in challenges in every single pod as much as I can and just check in with them to see how they're doing.
I have a lot of questions. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. You've been doing this for a while.
Mhm.
When people join for the first time, there's always this sense of following other coaches and trying to do the similar things with them. What do you find in 4 years that you would suggest not to do? Because everybody kind of does it, right? There's certain things that you may say, guys, look, I've been doing this for a while. This thing I just don't do because it's a time waster. This might be something you want to stay away from. Like posting 25 stories. You might say, don't post 25 stories, post 10, but then the other 15 minutes, spend it on inviting people or spend it on reading more books. Or what helped you? What shifted for you to get to 9-star diamond in a year? There has to be something you stopped doing and started doing more of to get there. This is one of them, but
Yeah, so I guess like if it were to be one thing to stop doing, to do less of, I guess, is to not so much focus on the pretty graphics, the pretty pictures. Because really it looks pretty and your team sees it, but honestly, that's really not moving your business forward. I think the more you talk to people, the more you connect with people. I think that's the most important part. And another thing too is it should always be 80% of your own business and 20% with your team. I used to think I used to have to be there for my team and do all this and do that, and I was putting my own business on the back burner. But I really learned to meet my coaches where they were at. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different work pace and what they actually want with this business. So it really took me a while to kind of learn how to help people differently, to be there for them. But I don't know if that answers your question. But I think mostly working on my business a lot more than helping my coaches, but also having, those pods and I have quarterly groups for them to sort of help them push more in their own business. But I think just kind of meeting them where they're at and making sure that I'm sort of helping them, but also not holding their hand.
Yeah.
Because that's important too.
When you invite people to a challenge group, do you always do the same exact program, or do you tend to have 6 weeks of the work, but you ask people to come to MBF, for example, or do you always do the same program?
It depends on the launch of that month. So if it was, MBF, I was inviting towards that program. And then, for example, 30-day breakaways coming out, I really take advantage of launches because I've learned that if you don't, then other people are going to sign up with other people that want to do the program that they watch other coaches doing. So I really take advantage of launches, even if it's a program that I'm not really interested in. I still pretend I'm interested in it.
I finished bar blend, so yeah.
But if there's no launches and it's just regular programs kind of thing, I don't call it a boot camp. I found that kind of threw people off a little bit. So I call it online fitness community. A lot of people used to say, I don't want to join a boot camp. That freaks me out. But online fitness community sounds way less scary. So I find when I change my wording with that, that helped too.
I love that you picked that up too, because I actually had that same thing. And I started saying online virtual fit club instead, because when I was using boot camp for the longest time, the response back was they thought they had to work out with me at the same time that I was working out in the morning. And they were like, I can't do that. And the workouts are too hard. Like, I'm not as fit as you. So pay attention to that in your wording. I think that that's a really, really great tip, is to see what people are responding back to you. And if you're getting the same response over and over again, pay attention to that and make a shift in your business so that you're not getting the same objection every single time. Speak to it.
I'm done with my questions. Thank you.
No problem.
Shalene is like, Batu, let's just cut it here. I'm kidding.
No, that's good.
They're great questions. Does anybody else have any questions? Amy, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Shawna.
Hi.
Thanks for all your information so far. It's been great. I'm just wondering, as soon as you've invited and then you say, can I get you more information? How much information do you give, like, right away?
Yeah. So this was what I was going to send you guys. I can read it to you if you want. Yeah, I'll just read it to you if you want. Okay. So I send them like literally most of the information all at once. And then I say, like, sorry for all the information. I just want to make sure you literally know what you're going to have access to. I don't send them the prices right away though. I send them the information, and then once they answer, I'll say, okay, let's get into the package options kind of thing. So I just say, so for starters, you'd have access to basically a Netflix of fitness. It's an app that has 1,000+ workouts and structured programs that give you actual results. Each of the fitness programs have easy to follow nutrition plans that are realistic and do not restrict you. I would help you pick a program based on your goals and your lifestyle. There are so many options to choose from, like strength training, cardio, boxing, dance, yoga, weights, etc. Workouts range from 20 to an hour, all depending on what you're looking for, and some don't even have equipment involved. This makes it easier for me to fit into my personal schedule. In addition, we have nutrition supplements like superfood shakes or all natural pre and post workout to help you stay on track throughout your journey that come with your package. Let me know what you think. And then that's sort of when we talk about prices. That's another thing I wanted to share with you guys is, like, I don't just give them the basic challenge pack. I used to do that because I'm like, if I tell them the higher prices, they're just going to leave and I'll have no customer. But so many people go with the deluxe challenge pack, you guys. Like, I've missed out on so much because there's so many people that actually want the shakes and the performance line. Like, so make sure you're offering both options to them. I send them a visual actually of sort of the packages that they can choose from.
I love that. Great question. And thank you for sharing all of that too. So you guys, when it's shared, like, I'll make sure I put it in the team page so that you have it, because that's incredible. I know it's easier to like read it sometimes.
Yeah. I can send that to you for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, just to follow up to that. So after you've given all that information and then you chat back and forth a little bit and they say, oh, that's great. What's this? And you explain it a little bit more. I have a lot of people that are like, okay, I got to think about it. Like, they don't want to jump in the day you invite them and you're chatting about it. So how long do you wait to say, hey, have you thought about it? Like a day?
I wait
days?
2 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then I follow up and I just say, hey, just checking in to see if you've had time to think about it. Would love to get you started, kind of thing. Or I'll say, do you have more questions for me? Sometimes I even say, like, spots are filling up quickly if you want a spot, just to kind of give them that, like, push.
That push. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. FOMO for sure.
I actually had a quick question. It's more of a customer service question. I'm kind of curious how you do this. So in between launches, when there's, you mentioned how you would probably pick the right program based on their lifestyle. What does that look like for you? Because I'm finding I'm trying to figure out, like, my communication style with my clients, you know, if I do it via email, if I actually have a one-on-one, I rather have one-on-ones with like my new coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious how your process is when it comes to like picking that path for them.
So basically I asked what their lifestyle is really about, like what they do, how much time they have in a day, what their actual goals are. If their goal is like weight, like they want to gain muscle, I always like push them towards Lift 4 because it's an awesome program. And I feel like everyone would love that. But if they're like new to working out, they're new to the workouts, they need like quick, easy workouts, I always push them towards 21 Day Fix because that's what I started with. And I think it's a really easy way to get in that habit within 21 days. And I guess it all depends on the person and what they're sort of looking for. But yeah, normally it's those like 2 programs that I mostly start them with if they're like, especially if they're brand new to the programs. Another great one is Clean Week. It's just a week and I kind of let them, just so they're not like freaking out about everything. Clean Week is a good one to start with too. But yeah, I guess it all depends on the person and what they're sort of looking for. But I do ask like specific questions like, you know, what are your goals? What equipment do you have? Do you need help with nutrition? Like those sort of things. So I kind of see like where they're at.
But are you having these conversations in the DMs after they've enrolled, or is it like email, or is it like,
DMs, like
okay.
voice note? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
I love that. She's speaking your language, Danielle. Clean Week. You were on the right track. As soon as she said Clean Week, I was like, you have to feel like you're on the right track. I know Danielle loves Clean Week for her clients too. So that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I have a question for you. When you're inviting, you said you're inviting on average about 50 people a day right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those people you said are anyone who is liked, following you, watching your stories. Do you track how long they've been following you? Or are you just like, you're fair game, you're following me. It could have been for an hour. I'm inviting you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I do.
And that's your first message to somebody is an invite, or do you try and build that relationship first?
Yeah, I guess it depends. So if I know that they're like newer to following me, I try not to send like an invite right away. I'll like a couple of their pictures, you know, comment, or I'll send them a little connection message like, oh my God, that dress you're wearing in that photo you posted, where did you get it? Yeah, if they're like brand new to following me and I can tell, then I don't send an invite right away. But most of the time I'm just like invite.
I like that. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's my style too. Any other questions, you guys? We've got like 10 minutes, so we'll wrap some things up here. But if you guys have more questions, now's the time.
I did have a question. I don't know if it's appropriate for this conversation, but I'm wondering if anyone here uses TikTok or Twitter or any other forms of social media, because there are so many different forms of social media, and just out of curiosity.
I use TikTok and I watched your TikToks while you were talking. So you do a lot of TikTok.
Mine?
Me?
Yes. No.
Yeah, like I use them for workouts mostly, but like I don't actually like use my business for TikTok. I just use it for workouts because it's quick. And it's fun to make your workouts with them. But yeah, another thing I'm trying to get used to is Reels because you can get so many new eyes on your page with Reels. It goes right into the Explore feed. So that's something I'm working on too.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Reels is like totally where it's at right now to get new followers and like eyes on your page. It's insane. In terms of like what platform to use whatever you're comfortable on. Honestly, like that's what I would suggest is just what can you keep up with? There's no way I'm showing up on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. I just know that I am not going to show up as my best self on all of those platforms. Yeah. So I really had to identify like, okay, what platforms am I going to show up at? Like, and be on my game. Like, where am I actually going to be my true self? And I think that's different for everybody. And if that's like Instagram and TikTok for you, or if that's Twitter and Facebook, like I just always say like, go with where you know you're going to show up really well. I will challenge you to say, like, let's get out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you're like, I just don't know how to use the app, so I'm going to avoid it, that's not a good enough excuse. But if you want to explore other apps and you want to explore maybe TikTok or explore Twitter to see what that looks like I say go for it if you feel like you can handle that. And
I
it's a
haven't
great
asked any
question.
questions. I don't know why today I have so many like questions, which is
Because Shawna's
great.
amazing.
I'm usually quiet on calls, but today I was like, so when you first started coaching, just as a fear factor, right? So you must have had some stuff that you were fearing, that you were scared of doing, that kind of pulled you back from moving forward.
Yeah.
What was what were those things that scared you, and how did you overcome them? Just because people who are watching this video in the future or who are now watching may be like, okay, she had this fear, I have it too. This is how she overcame it. Let me try that as well so that they can move forward. That was a great question, by the way.
Gosh, I guess like for me, I like really held back talking about coaching because I didn't have the confidence to talk about it. And I think, that's why I sat at Diamond for 2 years, because I didn't have those business building coaches because I wasn't talking about coaching. So why would people want to join it if I wasn't passionate and talking about it, right? So I guess like honestly for me, the switch was Coach Summit. I like sat on like in the seats and I listened to so many people's stories and like their success stories and like that they started from ground zero to literally the top, and it just really inspired me. So I left that summit and I was like, enough's enough. Like if I want this, then I need to put myself out there and actually talk about coaching. So that's where the coaches started to come through, when I was actually like confident when I was talking about it.
Thank you.
I like that. And I think it's a really good way to even just do like a check on yourself on any area in your business. What's the area that you want to grow in your business? And that's probably the area that you need to shift your focus and make that more of a priority. And so if you're not hitting Success Club, then look at your invites. Where are you at with your invites? What does that look like? If you're not building a team, how much are you actually talking about the coaching opportunities? So I think that that's so key and so important. I love that. All right, one last question. Anyone? Batu.
I swear to God, I said, but in my head, I just said, Batu, just shush, just enough. I'm on fire today.
I saw you look down and I was like, I know he has a follow-up to that question.
I had 2 energizers today. Never did that before. So I think that's what's just getting me going. Jer has a question. Sorry, Jer. Miss you, buddy.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too much. Okay, are we good? Does anybody else have any questions? This is amazing. Thank you. Like everyone's so engaged. I can see them all just like staring at you, like soaking in all of this information. Very simple, straightforward, actionable items. Like they can implement this right away, tangible. Loved it. Thank you so much for showing up. And thank you for sharing. As soon as we have everything, we'll post the recording along with some of those like scripts that she has. So we'll get that up for you guys. But thank you so much, Shawna. We appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. See you guys.